Hey guys, welcome back to CLOWNFISH TV. This is Kneon, and I just got done watching Doctor Who Series 12, Episode 1, Spyfall Part 1. And it's the best episode of Doctor Who ever, is what I wish I could say, but it's just more of the same. It's more of Series 11. It was actually a chore for me to get through this episode. I'm just not feeling it. I'm not feeling it. I think I'm over Who. I think I'm over Doctor Who for the foreseeable future until they get rid of Chris Chibnall, because it doesn't feel like Doctor Who. Now, there were a couple of things in the episode that weren't bad. This is going to be a spoiler-filled overview, first reaction. Literally, I just got done watching it like 5 minutes ago. And I have said, in the interest of fairness, even though I did not like Series 11 very much, I got very, very bored. I was willing to give Doctor Who another shot this season, see if it's still a show that I can get into. It was, at one point, my all-time favorite show on TV. And now it's not. Now I really have to wrestle with whether or not I want to continue watching Doctor Who, because I don't get any enjoyment out of it. I really don't. So before we get into the video, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants. We're at about 86,000 subs, hoping for 100,000 soon. Thank you so much for that, everybody. Your support is greatly appreciated. So yeah, Spyfall's first episode of Series 12. I was hoping it would be kind of a return to form for like the Matt Smith era, David Tennant era Doctor Who. It looked, from the trailers, it looked like kind of goofy fun, the Doctor playing spy and the James Bond thing and all of that, but we actually get very little spy shenanigans in an episode called Spyfall. In fact, it doesn't even feel like James Bond until the end, like the last 10 minutes of the episode. It's boring. I mean, look, Chibnall's thing is definitely drama, because his Who, and this is the same problem I had with Series 11, it feels like a drama with a little bit of sci-fi thrown in, a little bit of horror thrown in for good measure, but it really, everything about it just feels like a drama. It does not feel like Chris Chibnall is cut out for this kind of television, in my opinion. It's very slow. I found, again, same complaints I have at Series 11, compared to the Moffat era, compared to the Russell T Davies era. This Doctor Who is very, very slow. Not slow like Classic Who. Like Classic Who, yeah, it was slower than, the first, 10 seasons of New Who, but it wasn't a chore to watch. Well, some of the older episodes were a chore to watch, but this was very boring. It was very, very slow. And even by New Who standards, it was a very slow episode. In fact, we really didn't get into the meat of it until probably the halfway point. So the long story short is the Doctor gathers up the TARDIS fam. I guess that's what they're calling them. I don't know what they're calling them now. The posse, and they've been recruited by MI6, from James Bond, to find out what's going on with missing spies, and there's light monsters that are apparently from another universe. I don't know, but like right out of the gate, I was like, God, please, just let's not go there, and they went there. So the first conversation that Jodie Whittaker's Doctor has with the head of MI6, the head of MI6 is like, hey, going to Graham, you're the Doctor, good to see you, we've read all about you, da-da-da-da-da, and then he's like, oh, I'm not the Doctor, she's the Doctor, and he's like, well, it's impossible, everything we've read is the Doctor's a man, and here comes Jodie Whittaker, I've had an upgrade. I'm like, oh, no, womp, womp, okay, we get it. So they talk about how units disbanded, which we saw in the Capaldi era. Torchwood's disbanded. Unfortunately, I would like some Captain Jack in this show just to spice it up a little bit. I've got notes here. Look, it's boring. It's just really, really boring. And I was really hoping that, maybe it would tonally be very different from Series 11, or at least try to ramp up the action. And there is some action. There's a car chase and a motorcycle chase and whatever. But you know, it's very clear within the first 10, 15 minutes of this show that you are watching, you know, Series 11 Part 2. If you did not like Series 11, you're probably not going to like this series either. And I do place the blame on Chibnall. Because again, I don't think sci-fi is his strong suit. I don't think he should be doing sci-fi shows, especially sci-fi shows that have been much, much better in the not too distant past. Now, I mean, there's even, God, you know, talking about Chibnall and, you know, his forte being drama, they even have a freaking coffee scene. I joked before, I said Doctor Who Series 11 was a lot of people sitting around, Ryan and Graham sitting around drinking coffee and talking about life. And they actually have a coffee drinking scene, you know, and a tea drinking scene, and lots of just very slow stuff going on. Although the light alien things are kind of cool, but again, there's not enough of them. Tonally, it's like, is it trying to be X-Files? Is it trying to be James Bond? There's more X-Files in it than James Bond. We do get the Bond action toward the end of the episode. Now, the big surprise is that there's a new master. And I've got the guy's name written down. I am not familiar with him. Is it Sasha Dewan, I believe? Okay, never mind. I do know who the guy is. I thought he looked familiar. He's the guy who played Davos in Iron Fist on Netflix. He just smiles a lot more in this show. Okay. Who is introduced as an old spy friend of the Doctor's, who's kind of a UFO nut, conspiracy theorist, and it turns out that it's actually the Master. You know, I kind of like the character as this O character, but I don't like the character as the Master. I just don't think after John Sim, after Missy, it's a really tough act to follow. And I'm not feeling this Master. Maybe this Master will regenerate into somebody else, since this Master stole the real O's identity. And he shrunk him, because, you know, the Master likes to shrink people, and he shrunk him and put him in a little matchbox in his pocket, which was freaking weird. I mean, for Doctor Who, it was kind of weird to see this little, like, doll in his pocket. I was like, oh, come on, this is strange. But yeah, it just doesn't do it for me anymore. Doctor Who doesn't do it for me anymore. I might watch another episode or two, but it's very clear that, you know, this is a continuation of Series 11. And I didn't like Series 11. I have issues with, you know, just the style of the show, the tone of the show. It doesn't feel like the same show. You know, having the Master there, though, is definitely, I think, an attempt, like we talked about before, to backpedal, to try to get some of the old Doctor Who fans back on board. And the Master talking about, and they do talk more about the Doctor's past. They reference the Doctor being male before a couple of times, actually, during the episodes. So I think they're trying to connect the dots, get that connective tissue, because Series 11 felt like a reboot almost, but it's got the same problems that the previous season had, in my opinion. Actually, there were more interesting episodes, you know, I think, in Series 11, and even then I was bored. But, you know, I might give it another episode or two. Maybe it's just this particular story is not doing it for me, but guys, I think I'm going to drop Doctor Who. After 10, 12 years, I don't enjoy it. I found myself skipping it around 2-3 minutes here and there when they were at the talky parts, and I'm just like, I can't do this. I'm not enjoying it. I'm not having fun. Doctor Who used to be a lot of fun, and it always moved right along, you know, boom, 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 adventure, and, you know, it wasn't always explosions and excitement, whatever, but I was never bored. Well, okay, toward the end of Capaldi's era, I was bored, but not bored like this. Bored like, God, I literally could be watching any other show on TV and enjoying it more than I am. I could go watch The Witcher, and I'm going to enjoy it a hell of a lot more than Doctor Who at this point. So I would say, on a scale of 1 to 10, this particular episode I'd give about a 3. And it gets a 3 for at least attempting to bring the Master back. But, yeah, I'm just not feeling it. Now, what's interesting, though, is that the Master says at the very end of the episode, everything you think you know is a lie. And then, you know, they're going down in flames on this plane. I'm thinking, oh, is this the part where they tell us that maybe Series 11 never happened? You know, that maybe Series 11 is just a fever dream of the 12th Doctor, mid-regeneration or something. I don't know. I mean, I would have liked for them to look, if you're gonna have a female Doctor, at least bring Missy in for a couple of episodes somehow, because I think she was vastly superior to this incarnation of the Master. But I digress. Not impressed. I'll watch another episode or two, but I think after 10 or 12 years, I'm out. I'm done. I think I'm done with Who. I'm just bored, and I think it's time to move on. If you're not enjoying it, it's time to move on. So thank you so much for watching this. Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, and we will talk later. Hey guys, thanks for watching Clownfish TV. Please consider supporting the channel. Go to clownfishsupport.com. That's clownfishsupport.com. And if you want to join our community, go to clownfishtalk.com. That's clownfishtalk.com. Please subscribe, ring the bell for notifications. We will talk to you next time.